So if you've watched any videos on this channel in the past, you've almost certainly seen my trusty FoodSaver vacuum seal machine. And I've had this machine, I think, longer than I've even been making videos on YouTube. This is the only FoodSaver brand vacuum seal machine I've ever owned, and I've had it for, I want to say, about 10 years. And I've sealed absolutely thousands of bags and jars and things with it. And while for many years it's never let me down in the slightest, very recently it started having some trouble sealing vacuum seal bags. And while I don't love the idea of having to spend money on a new machine, it's also a little bit heartbreaking because of how long I've had it and how many things we've sealed together. But considering the things that seem to be going wrong with it and the symptoms I'm observing with regards to that, I have a feeling that the problem lies with this flexible sort of foam rubber seal on the top and or bottom of the machine. And these things can kind of wear out over time. They have to be kind of flexible, but also quite rigid and stay exactly in the right spot for everything to work. And I'm kind of suspecting that maybe my seal has gone bad. So using a vacuum seal bag and pretty much the first thing that I saw sitting on the counter to help me demonstrate, I'm going to show you what happens right now if I try to seal a bag just like I would over the years, thousands and thousands of times. It is just not sealing. I can tell that it's trying to, but it's just not really doing it. So besides for a visual inspection of the seal itself, the next thing that I tried in order to diagnose whether I think it's the seal or not is to pretty firmly press down on the lid while it's running and see if that extra pressure will make it seal as I'd hope it would. And as you can see, it did such a good job of sealing it that it actually depressed the button on the flashlight, making it go off in, I guess, strobe mode. So considering that pressing pretty hard down on the lid made it seal successfully, that definitely makes me suspect that it's the rubber seal that needs to be replaced. So I went to Amazon to look at what my options were, and there were many brands, none of which seemed to be FoodSaver brand, of replacement seals for this machine. So I went to the FoodSaver website directly, and I was able to find what seems to be the exact rubber gasket seal thingies that I need for the top and bottom of this particular machine. And they also work with a few of their other machines as well. So we're going to go through the pretty simple step of removing the old gaskets, installing the new gaskets, and trying this all out to see if that fixes the problem and saves me from having to buy a new machine. So obviously the first thing we need to do is remove the old seal. And in the case of my machine, this seal seems to be coming out pretty easy. At least the top one does. Hopefully the bottom one comes out just about as easily. And it looks like it is. You know, I'm always a little worried that something like this is going to be glued into place with some kind of industrial adhesive or sealant or something, but that seemed pretty straightforward. And there's nothing like obviously damaged or deteriorated about the seal, but it does seem a little bit kind of loose and floppy, and you know, there's some discoloration and things on it compared to the brand new ones, which I guess are a little more firm and maybe a little stiffer in their flexibility. I guess I'm just gonna try to see, kind of lay this into the same channel that the original seal was in without misshaping it or messing it up too much. It's a little tricky to get it in at the corners here because that's where it's sort of the stiffest. If I kind of just carefully and gradually squish it a little at a time into that channel, seems like it's going in all right. Just work my way around. Try not to let it crease or fold as it goes in. And I think that's in about as evenly as I can get it all the way around. There's still a little funny looking in this corner over here, but it feels like it's in pretty evenly. So go ahead and do the same with the bottom one. Maybe I'll fast forward this a little bit to make it go a bit quicker. But I guess I'm at the point where I'd like to give it a try and see if it seals. So let me just try something else. Maybe not the flashlight so it doesn't turn on again. I'll use a pair of needle nose pliers just to see if it'll seal up nice and tight around them. So I'd say that's a pretty tight seal, and I'm thinking that the new gaskets were definitely what the doctor ordered in this case to bring some new life into this old vacuum sealer. I may still need to give a little bit of leveling out and adjustment on these till they're kind of broken in. Maybe make sure this little ridge right here that's poking up a little bit settles in like I need it to. But it sure sealed up this bag of needle nose pliers with little issue. So I'd love to put a link in the video description to the exact model of gaskets you need to buy, but the odds are better that you don't own this same exact model of machine than they are that you do own it. So I can't really tell you which model to get. You're gonna have to go to the FoodSaver website or even Amazon, look on the back, find the model number of your machine, type that in, and just put gasket or gasket replacement. I assume no matter what model of FoodSaver you have, the procedure is going to be more or less the same to remove and replace the gasket. Really, this whole video could have been about 30 seconds long where I yank the old one out, put the new one in, but it wouldn't be a proper Great Lakes Country video if I didn't over-explain every little piece of it to absolute death, maybe more for my own benefit than yours. Who knows? Anyway, that's it for now. Be sure to like and subscribe to stay up to date with all our latest stuff, including future vacuum sealing videos. And consider supporting us on Patreon at patreon.com/Great Lakes Country. Thanks for watching, and until next time, this is Great Lakes Country. Thanks for watching, and until next time, this is Great Lakes Country.